everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic, signs your man is on the DL. How can you tell? There's a lot of information coming out today about men on the DL. So we're going to talk about it today. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now we have a letter. Let's dive into this letter and talk about this issue. Signs of men on the DL. All right, now first of all, before I jump into the letter, I want to say that I have unfortunately had experience with a man on the DL. And ladies, if you're out here dating, you probably have too, and you don't realize it. You see, you can't just look at a man and tell that he's on the DL. It doesn't show like it would a gay man. A man who's outwardly gay, because they're gay too. But a man who's outwardly gay, he's in his feminine energy. But a man on the DL could be in his masculine energy. The man that I met, he was a ball player, very much into all kind of rough sports like football and whatever. And he was very competitive, and even that he was an older gentleman, he was still into sports, and I thought for sure he was all alpha. But in the beginning of our relationship, he did criticize the homosexuals pretty heavy. In the beginning of our relationship, he let me know where he stood on homosexuality. And I didn't even bring it up. He brought it up to let me know. I said, well, I don't know why you feel that way, because I don't have a problem with homosexuals because they don't, it doesn't affect my life. So I don't have a problem with them. But he act like he couldn't even stand for them to even be around. Okay? Ladies, that was a sign, but I didn't know it. Let's dive into this letter and see what she says. She says, I'm not sure if you've already done this video, but can you help sisters know exactly what to look for when it comes to their man being on the down low? I've been divorced from a narcissist for 10 years, and I remember he had a wet dream about one of his friends performing oral sex on him. Yes, a wet dream. I told him about it. It definitely wasn't something random. I've been dreaming for over 40 years, and I've never had a dream about touching or kissing a girl, but some things I've learned to watch out for. That's true. If he had a dream like that, it's probably because it had already happened. He was remembering the feeling and everything of when it happened. You understand? They were already in each other's energy because they had bonded together. And see, this is the same thing with women who, when you have sex with a man, you form a bond. And the man really can manipulate your energy because you're bonded. He can just sit around and think about you hard. And all of a sudden, you're thinking about him and you don't know why you can't get him out of your energy because he's doing the same thing about you. You understand? And he may be thinking about getting ready to call you. And then you're thinking about him because he's thinking about calling you. Then all of a sudden the phone rings and it's him. Things like that. You're in each other's energy. Now, let's see. She did list some signs here. Before I get into the signs, I do want to say this part. You can't look at a man and tell he's on the down low. The down low men, you can't tell. You can't tell because they look like ordinarily upstanding, high value men that you want to be with. They don't have a sign on their back. Look, I'm on the down low. So you can't You can't tell, ladies. And this is why I tell you, take your time. Take a long time. Because if you are with a man and you fall for him and you really care about him, and to find out later that when he leaves you, he's with a man, it can destroy you. Psychologically, it does some damage. Believe me, it took me a while to get over it. It took me a while, ladies. And I would never take a man back once I found out that he was engaged in that type of activity. But see, there's so many men out here who are. And then there are some ladies out here who have complied to it. You know, they just close their eyes and act like it's not happening. No, ladies, you need to open your eyes. You want to know if it's happening. And if I were dating any man, he would have to prove to me he's not on the down low. I have to see him in a lot of different situations. I'm going to need for friends to tell me things about him, who he was before he met me, all kind of things. I'm going to be doing some deep research before I get sexually involved with a man. And ladies, you have to too. You have to too. And don't jump at a man just because he says he wants to get married. These down low men, most of them are married. Because they don't want the world to know that they're sleeping with each other, so they need wives to cover that up. Okay? So ladies, those of you who want marriage, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. There's nothing wrong with one. We all want, you know, companionship. To be in a partnership, a marriage for the rest of your life. We all want that. You know, the love that we see in the movies and on the TV and all of that. Who doesn't want that? But listen, ladies, reality is a whole lot different. Whole lot different. You have to keep your thinking cap on at all times. You know, make decisions with your head long before you make them with your heart. Okay? And that will save you from a lot of anxiety. All right, let's look at this list. All right, at the top of her list, these are some of the things to watch out for, she says. He always asking for anal. Okay, now listen, when I was with the narcissist, now we had been together a few years, and he asked me. I said, no. But then one time, I remember I was half asleep, and he had come on my back. He wasn't in there, because I definitely would have felt if he went in there. He didn't do that. But I guess, you know, in his mind, he was in or whatever, and he did. I remember that. He probably didn't even realize that I knew what he did. But yeah, that was a sign. I didn't want to know. See, the whole time I was with this DL man, my intuition was showing me things all the time. All the time. I didn't want to know it, and I didn't want to believe it. Because I was feeling, I'm not going to say love. I'm not going to say that it was love. But I was feeling more in tune to him. I was thinking that maybe with time, we could come together, a meeting of the minds, because I knew that we had some conflicts with beliefs, you know, and things like that. But there were some things that I did like about him. And it was probably that illusion that he created for me. That's probably what I liked about him. He is probably not even the person that he presented to me. Because I understand that the narcissist is a chameleon. And every woman that he's with, he's a different kind of person. The personality can change. Because remember, people, this is not like, this person is possessed with a demon. You understand? And when you're working with a demon, there are no real limits on what he can do to influence you. Okay? But you just have to protect yourself. All right, number 2. Some say if he's in a fraternity or likes to be around other men all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Because unfortunately, in some of these fraternities, you know, these big organizations, these men organizations and groups and that kind of thing, and even these camps where young men go to be men, them too. Usually in these settings is when these young men are initiated into that lifestyle. In the fraternity, they'll do it. To be in the fraternity, you got to do this. Because now the fraternity's got something on you, you know. You don't want that known. So you got to do this if you want to be in this club. You understand? And then it's introduced. But see, all of this is demonic. Demonic. And these men fall into these groups, and I'll tell you why. Peer pressure and pressure to be classified as a high-value man. Okay, we'll say that because these men are men who, you know, work in corporate world, banking, you know, these high-level, high-income men. They came up through the fraternities. Many of them. And I was hearing the other day, it's a funny thing, they were talking about Kappas. They talk like a lot of the Kappa men are down low. But see, I realize that these things are introduced to these men when they are young. Think about it. These college boys go to college, you know, to learn, but then they want to join a fraternity. Whether their father was in the fraternity, uncles was in the fraternity, or they just want to be a part of this group. And then they have to go through this initiation. And then who's to know? If the fraternity just keeps it up after you understand it, they may have these parties where they do things like that. Who knows? But yeah, if your man was in a fraternity, and even if he was you know what? I even look at the Masons funny. I'm telling you, if your man is in a group of men, be leery about that. Watching Love and Hip Hop women shows. You know what? I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. It's been years since I've even had cable. And I think I used to watch it when I had cable. But what has it changed now? Is it all about, I don't know. What is it about Love and Hip Hop and men watching? Because I heard some other folks talk about that. Men who watch Love and Hip Hop. You know, is it a lot of gay interaction on Love and Hip Hop these days? I know it wasn't there when I watched it years and years ago. It was in the beginning of it. But yeah, she has it on here. Men who watch Love and Hip Hop shows. Okay. Got me on that one. If he always on and off and arguing with a homeboy. Well, when I first started dating the narcissist, him and his homeboy argued like women on the phone. And I noticed that. I mean, they would fall out like a boyfriend and a girlfriend and just fall out for weeks and then come back together and then fall out, you know, things like that. And I thought that was very, very odd. But again, I'm not thinking how, you know, what would make me think that he was on the DL? Number one, I never knew anything about any DL. I didn't know anything about it. I thought you were either gay or not. You were outwardly gay or not. Never knew anything about these secreted, closeted gays. So these little things that he did, I just thought that they were silly. Silly. And overlooked it. But later on in the years as we dated, his homeboy had a a couple of events. And he did take me to at least two of them. One event, the homeboy came over to talk to him, but kind of did me kind of flip it. You know, he didn't really want to talk directly to me. He would talk to me and overlook me. You know, it was pretty obvious. And it was almost like, you know, a jealous woman. That's the way he was acting. The other occasion, I went to his home. By this time, the homeboy had married a woman, a very nice, beautiful woman. But, of course, the woman had the home. He just moved in. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, when I come into his home and everything, he pretended that, here, I want to show you around the house. So he grabbed me. And I was like, you know, I'm trying to get to know who he is. You know, he's a friend of the man that I've been dating. Of course, you want to get to know him. So he's taking me around, and the way that he's doing it, he's not really telling me anything, just pointing out some flippant things like this. And he took me in this room and walked away and left me in there. Without saying anything, just walked out. So I'm saying, you know, I don't know these people. I don't know where, but I'm an empath and I can feel the energy. But during those days, I wasn't spiritual and I didn't really know what I was feeling. But it was an uncomfortable kind of energy. But because of him, I wanted to, to fit in. So anyway, and the ladies, they were all in their little group. So it was never an occasion that the ladies came and got me to be in their group. So, all right. Anywho, I didn't think much about it. But on that occasion, he did treat me twice like a jealous female. And I think I mentioned it to the guy that I was with. And he said, yeah, I spoke to him about that. I don't know why he acted like that. You understand? So, yeah. Yeah. And when I met this narcissist, his homeboy was about to get married. And guess who was the best man in the marriage? Not the man I was dating. He was his best man in this marriage with this woman, which is a farce because they had been sleeping together for years. Because when I met the narcissist, he told me they used to live together for years. That didn't mean anything to me. Young men, they're going through school, trying to make, they partner up together in an apartment and, pay half of what. But I did not think in my wildest dreams that they were together. You understand? See, all of this came out on my spiritual journey. When I was with him, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to know it. But the signs were there. And even he introduced me to his favorite aunt. And she was a sweet woman. She was very nice. But unfortunately, in a month after I met her, she passed away. But the very first day that he took me to her home, and I spoke with her, and we got along fine and everything, and she looked up at him with me standing, with me there. And I think there were other people in the room, I can't remember. But she says, if this one doesn't work out, then you need to try a man. And when she said that, I didn't think much about it. You know what I'm saying? It was something that stuck in my mind to be an odd thing for a favorite aunt to say. But it just didn't click. It just didn't click, ladies. And I'm telling you these stories because you can find yourself in the same situation. Your intuition is trying to tell you things, you see, and your spiritual guides are prompting other people to try to tell you things, and you're not catching on. You're not catching on. All right, let's look at this. Gossiping and talking about his friends behind their back. Well, I didn't have that because, I don't have time for gossip. and anything like that. So if he gossiped and talked about, it wasn't with me. It was with somebody else. Talking on the phone for hours with another man outside of his family. Well, he didn't do that because I'm looking at him, but he was in that phone. He was in that phone 24/7. Even when he was sitting here with me, he was in his phone. So I don't know what was going on there. But no, he didn't talk on the phone while he was with me. He always hates and judges gay men with a passion. Yeah, he did. He did. He really bashed homosexuals. And it was a funny thing, too. I remember, in hindsight, you can remember a lot of things. And also, when I met him, he was a football coach. Check this out. A football coach. Young, impressionable men. He had access to them every day, during the football practice, whatever it was. So there was one day that he picked me up or whatever. And he had this young man in the back seat. And it was something strange about the young man. He wasn't, my intuition told me the young boy was gay. I don't know why. I don't know him. I don't know I don't know anything. But I just had a sense that the young man was gay. But my resistance would not put it together that he had been with this young man. My senses would not put it together. I let it go. You see? Things like that. That's what you need to be, your eyes open. And do all of this ladies, before you get intimate with these people. Check them out thoroughly. All right, here's some more. And if he only dates white girls, which my ex is married to now. A gay man told me this one. I don't know about that. No. I don't know anything about them dating a white girl because of whatever. No, I don't know that. Running through as many women as possible sexually. Well, let's look at this. If they are a narcissist, it's only supply. Has nothing to do with them being on the DL because they only like women. DL men prefer men, not women. Narcissists hate women and want to destroy women. So, and they need the supply. The sexual energy is huge supply for the narcissist. Okay, so that's about running through many women. All in women's businesses and jealous of women. If you let them in your business, they'll take it and destroy it. Now, if you're talking about what women are doing and that kind of thing, usually outwardly gay men are like that, not DL men. Because remember, DL means down low. DL means in the closet. DL means I'm going to show that I'm a real man with no cracks. But when I go in the closet, I'm going to be in my feminine energy. You understand? So they're not going to be outwardly acting like a woman, not a DL man. When you see subtle signs that he hates women, his mom. Yeah, if he's a narcissist, not necessarily a DL man. A DL man can love his mother. He just likes the sensation of being with a man more than being with a woman. You see, there's a difference. A narcissist hates everybody, plus his mother. Okay? So a narcissist is out to destroy women. But the narcissist is also getting supply. The narcissist is on the DL because, he don't want people to know that he's a narcissist or on the DL. But this is a demon. I don't believe that every man who's on the DL is a narcissist. I'm going to make a distinction between that. I don't see how that goes together, because a DL man is just a man who has experienced this sexual activity and enjoys it. Now, he can't have it all the time, but on occasion, when he and his golf buddies go off for a week, or when the black men go off for whatever, or his group goes off somewhere, then, you understand, then he can enjoy himself. That's the DL man. He's not out wanting everybody to be knowing his business. You understand? This is a secret activity for the DL man. But if he is a narcissist, he's probably on the DL because of the supply. There are some narcissists who are just DL because the opportunity was there. It's not that they, prefer it. I'm going to give them a card. I'm going to give them a pass card on it. It's not that they necessarily, I'm going to say that every narcissist that is involved in this activity doesn't necessarily prefer it. But I'm saying that if the opportunity presents itself, the narcissist will take advantage of that opportunity. This is what I'm saying. Okay? All right. This is what I'm saying. But the narcissist sees every opportunity as supply. So it's not about the enjoyment of it. Remember, the narcissist is a demonic energy. It's not about the enjoyment. It's about the energy. Okay? It's all about the energy. But he is, or she is, possessed with a destructive energy. So the energy is sucking energy out of you, out of your resources, out of whatever. That's the demonic energy. That's the narcissist. But I believe there is a difference between the narcissist and just a man who enjoys this down low activity every once in a while. Okay? All right. I know you've mentioned some of these before. I just wanted us to be conscious at all times and see beyond the facade, because it be the very ones you least expect. So true. That's why I would kind of expect everybody until I was damn sure that they weren't. Not after being burned by their narcissist. One thing that would kind of help you here. If a man is rushing you to sex, he'd take you on maybe 3 dates or 2 dates or maybe 1 date and he's after sex, leave him. That's all he wants, or he could be a narcissist. Okay? That's it. A narcissist is addicted to sex because of the energy. He has to have the energy, so he's not going to be without that. All right? Enjoy the man, but keep your eyes on the man. Don't blink. Because these men are full of game. Okay. But they can't always hide 100% of the time. So when you see a sign, that's your sign. And that's very true, ladies. Very true. And I thank you for sending me that information. Very, very true, ladies, because when I was out there dating, I didn't want to see the sign. When you care for somebody and you find out something, you have an inkling there's something wrong, you don't want to see it. You really don't. And it'll take a long time before you really see it. It took the narcissist to discard me for me to be hurt. And then to start my spiritual journey for me to see it. You understand, ladies? It's not an easy thing to see. The signs here, you see when you're involved with the person. But just to meet a person, you can't tell. So don't look for those signs. You really can't tell. They say, I've heard them say, the men in the gym with the big muscles and all of that, they are not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's an individual thing, and everybody's an individual, and you have to accept them like that. So I really hope that this information helps you, because it's very important. This energy, this demonic energy is running rampant through the masculine energy. And so many men are falling victim to it. But ladies, you don't want to be with a man who's slipping and sliding with other men. To me, that's just nasty. I wouldn't want that. So, that's my opinion. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. I want to thank you for your comments and your letters. And a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for your affirmation for today, also the link is in the description. I wish you all the very best and happiness. And I really hope to see you next time.